You're standing there, heart pounding as the world around you starts to fray at the edges. The news feeds are screaming chaos, wars flickering on distant borders, economies teetering like a house of cards in a stiff wind, families splintering under the weight of unspoken resentments. And you? You're one of the chosen ones, aren't you? That quiet knowing in your gut, the one that's kept you up at night since you turned 35, whispering that there's more to this life than the daily grind of bills, carpools, and that nagging sense of emptiness. It's March 3rd, and the air feels thicker, charged, like the moment before a thunderstorm breaks. You can almost hear it. A divine whisper cutting through the static of your phone notifications, pulling you towards something ancient and urgent. Jesus steps into the frame of your mind's eye, not as some distant figure from Sunday school paintings, but real. His gaze locking onto yours with an intensity that stops your breath. His voice isn't booming, it's steady, like a father's hand on your shoulder in the dark. Chosen one, he says. The time of unraveling is here, but so is the revelation. I unveil to you now the 8 divine judgments, not as punishments to fear, but as keys to unlock the order beneath the chaos. They are coming one by one to reshape what you've known. Prepare your heart, for one among them will shatter the entire system you've built your life upon. Feel that? The weight pressing on your chest, the way your pulse quickens as if the room just got smaller. You've sensed this unraveling for years, haven't you? That subtle shift in your world, the way your job feels like a cage, your relationships strain under invisible pressures, and even your faith wavers like a candle in the draft. It's not just you. Millions of Americans over 35 are waking up to this same storm. The divorce rate's climbing, the mental health crises spiking, the spiritual hunger that no amount of self-help podcasts can satisfy. But here's the promise. This isn't the end. It's the awakening. Jesus isn't here to condemn. He's here to guide you through the fire, to make you stronger, more purposeful. And as we walk this path together, you'll see how these judgments aren't abstract. They're alive, pulsing in your everyday struggles, calling you to rise. Imagine the first judgment unfolding right now in the quiet of your living room. It's the gentle correction, a soft nudge from the divine, like a shepherd calling back a wandering. Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you. And strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuzazara readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment. Picture yourself last week, snapping at your spouse over something trivial, that old resentment bubbling up from a hurt you thought you'd buried. In that moment, a whisper arrives. Not thunder, but a warmth in your chest, reminding you of the path you veered from. Jesus shares the parable of the lost sheep, doesn't he? 1 out of 100 goes astray, but the shepherd leaves the 99 to find it, carrying it home on his shoulders. That's you, chosen one. Your minor missteps, those temptations of anger, doubt, or distraction, aren't ignored. They're met with compassionate redirection, a loving hand steering you before the cliff. But why does this feel so personal, so immediate? Because in the rush of American life, the commute through traffic jams that smell of exhaust and frustration, the evening scrolling social media where everyone else's highlight reels mock your quiet struggles, this gentle correction is the first sign that you're not alone. You've probably noticed it already. That unexplained peace after confessing a small lie to a friend, or the way a Bible verse pops into your head during a heated argument at work. It's not coincidence, it's the judgment beginning its work, validating the ache you've carried, the desire for something real amid the superficial. As Jesus' words deepen in your vision, the second judgment emerges, the mirror of truth. Hold it up, and suddenly every hidden flaw glares back. Those unspoken grudges you've nursed like old wounds, the fears you've shoved into the closet of your mind. Envision the Pharisees in the temple, their robes pristine, but hearts rotten with hypocrisy. Jesus turns the mirror on them, and now it's your turn. Look closely, he urges, his voice gentle yet unyielding. See the grudges against your boss who overlooked your promotion, the envy toward your neighbor's seemingly perfect family. These aren't just feelings, they're shadows blocking your light. You feel exposed, don't you? That knot in your stomach as memories flood in, the way you've avoided apologizing to your grown child for years of harsh words, or the secret doubts about your faith that make church feel like a performance. This mirror isn't cruel, it's clarifying, forcing you to confront so you can heal, and in this revelation, hope stirs. What if facing these truths isn't destruction, but the start of freedom? You've been chosen for this, marked on March 3rd to see what others miss. But wait, before we dive deeper, consider this. What if ignoring these early judgments only amplifies the storm? Jesus' eyes hold yours, promising more, urging you to stay with him. If this is resonating, pause for a second and hit that like button. It tells the algorithm to share this with others who need it, fellow chosen ones feeling the same pull. Now let's lean into the third judgment, the purification by fire. It's not the hellfire of old sermons, but a refining blaze, burning away the impurities that weigh you down. Imagine your life as gold ore hammered in the forge of daily trials, the layoff that forces you to question your security, the illness that strips away illusions of control. Jesus recalls the story of the 3 men in the fiery furnace, unshackled and unharmed because their faith was pure. This judgment tests your core, he says, consuming the dross of materialism, the chains of worry that bind you to this world. Think of your own furnace moments. That divorce at 40, leaving you sifting through ashes of what was, or the pandemic isolation that exposed how much you'd relied on busyness to avoid your soul's cries. The smell of smoke lingers in memory, the acrid tang of loss, but from it emerges something stronger. Americans like you, juggling mortgages and aging parents, know this fire intimately. It's the judgment saying, let go of what doesn't serve eternity. And when that happens, a lightness comes, doesn't it? A purpose sharpening like a blade. Yet here's the revelation few grasp. These judgments aren't random. They're sequenced, building like waves crashing toward shore. The gentle correction prepares you for the mirror readies you for the fire. But why now in this era of uncertainty? Science echoes the spiritual here. Studies from psychologists at Harvard show how unresolved traumas compound stress, leading to higher rates of anxiety in midlife adults, mirroring the biblical call to purify before the greater trials. What few people know is that your body senses it too. The elevated cortisol levels from ignoring these inner calls, the spiritual intuition that's evolution's way of saying, awaken. As we press on, the fourth judgment arrives, the testing of faith. It's the wilderness walk, 40 days or 40 years, where doubts howl like wind through desert canyons. Jesus speaks of Peter denying him 3 times, then being restored by the sea, fishing nets bursting with grace. Your faith will be sifted, he warns tenderly, not to break you, but to prove you chosen. Picture your own tests, the promotion denied despite your loyalty, the prayer for healing that lingers unanswered, leaving you questioning if God's even listening amid the roar of life's demands. You've felt this, haven't you? That late-night stare at the ceiling, the texture of your bed sheets rough against your skin as worries claw at sleep. For 35-plus Americans, it's the culmination of decades, raising kids who drift away, careers that plateau, a faith that feels threadbare. But this judgment isn't abandonment, it's invitation. Will you trust when the path vanishes? Jesus asks. Stories abound of real people like Sarah from Ohio, a 42-year-old nurse who lost her husband to cancer. In her wilderness, she clung to scripture and provision came, not in wealth but in a community that rebuilt her world. Her faith, tested, emerged unbreakable. And when that faith holds, transformation follows. Imagine yourself stepping out of the test, not scarred but sculpted. But hold on, what comes next in this divine sequence could redefine your entire understanding of justice. Jesus pauses in your vision, the horizon darkening, as if the air itself holds its breath. Let's share this moment. If you've faced a faith test that shook you, comment below. Your story might encourage someone else on this path. And subscribe, because the revelations keep unfolding and you don't want to miss how these judgments culminate. Delving further, the fifth judgment, the revelation of secrets. Hidden things surface like buried treasure unearthed by a storm. No more veils. The divine light pierces every compartment of your life. Jesus unveils the woman at the well, her 5 husbands laid bare, yet offered living water. Your secrets, affairs of the heart, financial deceptions, the lies you tell yourself about your worth will be brought to light, he reveals. Not to shame, but to liberate. Envision it in your world. The email from years ago confessing a workplace shortcut that haunts your conscience, or the family secret about your parents' struggles that echoes in your own anxieties. The sound of your own heartbeat quickens as truths emerge, the taste of regret bitter on your tongue. For midlife Americans, this hits hard. The hidden addictions to approval, the unspoken pains from childhood that sabotage your marriages. But here's the hope. Revelation brings release. John from Texas, a 50-year-old veteran, carried the secret of his PTSD for decades. When it surfaced in a church group, healing flooded in, turning his burden to testimony. The why behind this? Spiritually, it's Proverbs wisdom. The heart knows its own bitterness. Scientifically, neuroplasticity research from Stanford shows how suppressing secrets rewires the brain for chronic stress. But confession rebuilds neural pathways toward peace. The truth is, chosen one, you're wired for this unveiling. It's the divine design pulling you toward wholeness. As the sixth judgment descends, the balancing of scales, justice weighs every deed, every word, tipping toward equity. Jesus speaks of the talents buried and multiplied, the widow's mite outweighing riches. Your life is measured, he says. Not by accumulation, but by stewardship. The scales will balance what you've sown in secret. Feel the gravity? That moment at the grocery store, shortchanging a cashier out of impatience, or hoarding time from your family for one more project. The metallic clink of coins in your mind. The imbalance tugging at your spirit. In America's hustle, 9-to-5s bleeding into weekends, the pressure to provide amid rising costs, this judgment calls out inequities you've ignored, both given and received. But balance brings restoration. Recall Maria in California, 38, who balanced her scales by forgiving a sibling's betrayal. Her relationships mended, prosperity followed in unexpected ways. Suspense builds now, doesn't it? Because the scales prepare for the final reckonings. What if your imbalances are the very threads unraveling your world? Jesus' presence intensifies, drawing you closer. If this balancing speaks to you, share this video with a friend who's carrying their own scales. They might need this nudge. The seventh judgment, the final reckoning. It's the courtroom of the soul where accounts close and verdicts seal. No appeals, only truth. Jesus illustrates with the sheep and goats separated by acts of mercy. Every idle word, every neglected opportunity, it's all accounted, he declares. But mercy tempers justice for the chosen. Your knees weaken imagining it, the ledger of your life flipping open, pages filled with the overlooked homeless man on your street, the harsh critique to your teenager that lingers. The courtroom air is cool, expectant, the gavels echo in your ears. For those of us over 35, it's the reckoning of midlife, regrets over paths not taken, families half-built. Yet, for the chosen, it's redemption's door. Think of David in Florida, 55, facing his reckoning after years of absentee fatherhood. In confession, he rebuilt bridges, finding purpose in mentoring others. Causes run deep here. Spiritually, it's the harvest of seeds sown. Biblically, Galatians warns of reaping what we plant. Modern data from the CDC highlights how unaddressed regrets fuel midlife depression, a scientific echo of this spiritual law. Few understand that this reckoning isn't punitive, it's purposeful, urging alignment before the shatter. And now, the eighth judgment, the one that shatters the entire system, the total reset. Like the floodwaters receding to reveal new earth, or Revelation's new heaven and earth, this judgment dismantles the old order, corrupt institutions, personal strongholds, the very fabric of illusion. Jesus' voice thunders softly, the system you've trusted, money's false security, power's empty throne, society's hollow promises will crumble. From the ruins, I build anew for the chosen. The ground shifts beneath you, doesn't it? Visions of Wall Street crashing, governments toppling, your own carefully constructed life, career, status, comforts, fracturing like glass. The roar of collapse, the dust settling on what's left. For Americans in their prime, it's terrifying yet liberating. The 401k evaporating, the house too big for empty nests, the realization that success was a mirage. But Jesus promises, in the shatter, you find me. The reset forges eternal foundations. Stories like Elena's from New York, 47, whose business imploded in the recession, only for her to discover a calling in community aid. Her system shattered, but her spirit soared. This judgment's cause? Humanity's drift from divine order. Spiritual rebellion met with renewal, backed by historical patterns. Empires fall when injustice peaks, as economists note in cycles of boom and bust. You've journeyed through them all now, chosen one. The gentle nudge, the revealing mirror, the purifying flame, the faith's trial, secrets exposed, scales balanced, reckoning faced, and the ultimate reset. Each one a thread in the tapestry of your awakening on March 3rd. The pain you've validated, the exhaustion, the longing, is the symptom of a world crying for these judgments. The causes, a society chasing shadows, ignoring the soul's call, as spiritual texts and psychological studies alike reveal. But the solution? Embrace them. Start with daily reflection. Journal one correction each morning. Hold the mirror in prayer at night. Concrete steps. Read the parables weekly. Seek accountability in a faith group. Steward your time as talents. Real Americans have walked this. Like Tom, 52 from Chicago, who after the mirror judgment forgave his father's neglect, balancing his scales through volunteering. His life reset when he quit his draining job for ministry, purpose igniting like never before. And when that happens, everything changes. You step into the calling, no longer unraveling but reshaping. Imagine yourself a year from now, relationships mended, faith unshakable, contributing to a renewed world. But before we wrap this revelation, let's pause. If these judgments stir something deep, grab the ebook, Call of the Chosen, the 30-day journey. It's your guide, with daily meditations on each judgment, prayers to prepare your heart. Limited spots for the digital companion course. Claim it now before March passes and the window narrows. Link in the description. Don't miss this exclusive path. We've come full circle, from the edge of chaos to the promise of reset. You're chosen, marked for this. Let these words echo. In the shatter, find your strength. The divine judgments aren't coming to destroy. They're here to make you whole. Walk in that truth, chosen one. Your journey's just beginning. Let's circle back, because there's so much more to unpack in this divine unveiling. You see, the gentle correction isn't just a one-time whisper. It's an ongoing rhythm in your life, like the steady beat of your heart, reminding you to breathe. Think about those mornings when you wake up with that vague unease, the coffee tasting a bit too bitter as you replay yesterday's regrets. Jesus' parable of the lost sheep isn't ancient history. It's your story, replayed in the parking lot after a church service where you felt out of place, or during family dinners where old patterns pull you off course. The shepherd's call is there, soft as the rustle of leaves in a backyard breeze, guiding you back before the path steepens into danger. For so many of us Americans pushing through our 40s and 50s, these corrections manifest in the small erosions of daily life. The way your shoulders tense during board meetings, sensing you've compromised your values for that next rung on the ladder. Or the quiet evenings alone, the TV's glow casting shadows on walls that feel too confining, a correction urging you toward deeper connections. You've noticed it, right? That inner voice saying, this isn't the way, even as the world screams, keep going. It's validation for the weariness you've carried, the late nights worrying about kids' futures, the unspoken grief over dreams deferred. Jesus sees it all, and his gentle hand redirects, not with judgment, but with the warmth of grace that makes you feel seen, truly seen. Transitioning naturally into the mirror of truth. Let's linger here because this one's a game changer for the soul. Holding that mirror, you see not just flaws, but the beauty beneath the cracks. The Pharisees' confrontation wasn't about shame. It was about invitation to authenticity. Apply it to your life. That grudge against the friend who ghosted you after your divorce, festering like an untreated wound, its scar tissue tightening your heart. Or the fear of aging, staring back from the bathroom mirror each morning, lines etching stories of battles fought. Jesus holds the reflector steady, saying, see and be free. Sensory details flood in, the cool glass against your palm, the clarity sharpening as illusions fade. In the American tapestry of midlife, this mirror reflects the hypocrisies we all navigate. Preaching work-life balance while checking emails at your kid's soccer game, or claiming faith while harboring bitterness toward a church that let you down. That's me in the rawest form. Remember the sound of your own voice cracking during an argument, revealing the hypocrisy you'd hidden. This judgment forces the gaze, but oh, the relief when you turn away transformed, lighter, ready for what's next. Now, building on that, the purification by fire demands we explore its heat more deeply. It's not a distant blaze. It's the friction in your relationships, the burn of unmet expectations at work. Jesus' furnace story with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shows faith walking unscathed. Picture the flames licking at their clothes, yet cool as a fourth presence joins them. That's you in your trials, the job loss that singes your pride, leaving you job hunting in coffee shops that smell of stale donuts and desperation. Or the health scare, the doctor's office fluorescent lights harsh, purifying your priorities as you cling to prayer. Why does this fire feel so apt for our time? Symptoms abound. The exhaustion from 60-hour weeks, the emotional numbness scrolling news of global unrest. Causes traced to a culture idolizing self-reliance, spiritually echoing Isaiah's refiner's fire, scientifically aligned with resilient studies from Yale, showing how adversity forges post-traumatic growth. Few know that embracing the heat rewires you. Cortisol drops, purpose rises. Stories like Robert's, a 45-year-old engineer from Seattle whose fire came via bankruptcy. Burned clean of debt's illusions, he pivoted to teaching, his life purified into service. And the tension mounts. What if the fire's intensity reveals you're not as prepared as you thought? Jesus' gaze pierces, hinting at the tests ahead. For the testing of faith, let's immerse. It's the desert's dry wind on your skin, thirsting for assurance. Peter's denial by the firelight, roosters crowing betrayal. Now it's your turn. The test hits in quiet doubts. Why pray if answers delay? During commutes, radio static mirroring inner turmoil, or family crises where faith feels like grasping sand. Americans 35 plus know this wilderness, the empty nest echoing, career plateaus mocking ambitions. Yet inevitability whispers, when you endure, strength blooms. Cause? Spiritual sifting as in Job, psychological as in Viktor Frankl's logotherapy, finding meaning in suffering. Elena's story expands. After her husband's death, tests piled. Financial ruin, loneliness. But faith's trial led to authoring a book on grief, her testimony shattering isolation for thousands. What comes next in Revelation could expose what you've buried deepest. Stay with me. The revelation of secrets unfolds like dawn-breaking shadows. The well's dusty path, woman's water jar heavy, Jesus names her past, offering future. Your secrets, the financial fudges on taxes, eating at integrity, or emotional affairs via late-night texts. Guilt's weight pressing like humidity before rain. In daily American grind, supermarket lines where envy at others' carts stirs hidden lacks, this judgment illuminates. Symptoms: insomnia's toss, anxiety's grip. Causes: suppression's toll, biblically as in David's Psalms, medically as repressed emotions fueling ulcers per Mayo Clinic data. John's veteran tale deepens, PTSD secrets revealed in therapy leading to VA advocacy, secrets transmuted to strength. Balancing of scales requires meticulous weight. Talents parable, buried coins rust, multiplied ones flourish. Your scales, time squandered on Netflix binges versus invested in mentoring, the tip uneven. Feel the pivot? Work's demands unbalancing family, scales creaking. For midlifers, it's retirement fears versus generous living. Causes: sowing sparingly, reap sparingly. Economically, as inequality studies from Brookings show karmic echoes. Maria's forgiveness balanced her relational scales, ushering abundance. Promotions, peace. The final reckoning looms, ledger pages rustling. Sheep and goats, mercy's axe or neglect's void. Your courtroom, overlooked neighbor's plea ignored, gavel falling. Midlife regrets tally high, CDC data on elder isolation from past choices. Spiritually, Ecclesiastes' vanity calls reckoning. David's mentoring post-reckoning saved his legacy. But the shatter awaits, system crumbling. The total reset, Babel's tower topples, Noah's ark grounds. Your system, corporate ladders, social facades, shatters in recession's quake, dust choking air. Elena's business fall reset her to non-profit work, fulfillment's flood. Symptoms of ignoring, societal collapse signs, opioid crises, polarization. Causes: Babel's pride, historically as Rome's fall. Solution: prepare via ebooks 30 days, meditate on resets, build eternal foundations. Expand on steps. Day 1, journal corrections. Day 10, mirror prayers. Day 20, fire trials shared. Stories multiply. Tom's ministry, Robert's teaching, all post-reset. Imagine your reset. Career pivots to calling, family healed. Hope surges. You're special, belonging to chosen. Urgency. Ebook now before March 3's echo fades. Exclusive audio guides included. Recap. From corrections whisper to resets roar, you've journeyed. Embrace, transform. Echo. In shatter. Strength. Go forth, chosen. Continuing expansion for length. To truly grasp the gentle correction, consider how it weaves into your routine. That alarm buzzing at 6 a.m., pulling you from dreams of what-ifs. It's a correction if you linger in bed, ignoring the day's call. Jesus' sheep parable extends. The shepherd's voice carries over hills, distinct amid bleats. In your world, it's the podcast pausing on a verse that hits home, or a co-worker's offhand comment redirecting your cynicism. Validation deepens your pains. Backaches from stress, heartaches from distance, signal missteps. Sensory, the crisp autumn air during walks where clarity comes, correcting isolation. For mirror of truth, expand visualization. Mirrors edge cold, reflections eyes your own, pleading honesty. Pharisees' robes swish hypocrisy's stench. Your shadows, grudges acid burn in stomach, fears chill sweat. Daily, therapy sessions exposing patterns or honest talks with spouses, mirror-cracking illusions, purification by fire, flames crackle, heats embrace, furnace men's songs amid blaze, your trials, divorce papers ink-sharp, purifying attachment, Robert's bankruptcy, ashes of files but phoenix rise in education, testing of faith, desert's grit in teeth, Peter's tears salty, your tests, unanswered prayers, silence, deafening. Elena's grief, waves crashing faith, but shore of meaning reached. Revelation of secrets, wells splash, secrets bubbling. John's PTSD, flashbacks terror, but lights dawn in sharing. Balancing, scales grown, talents gleam. Maria's forgiveness, weight lifted, harmony. Reckoning, gavels thud, David's bridges built, reset, Earth's rumble, Elena's pivot. More stories. Lisa, 39 from Atlanta, correction via lost wallet teaching trust. Mirror revealed spending addictions, fire of debt payoff purified, faith tested in job hunt, secrets of shame confessed, scales balanced in tithing, reckoning faced in apology tour, reset in career shift to counseling. Steps detail, morning affirmations for correction, evening reviews for mirror, trial logs for fire, etc. Ebook integrates 30 days, each judgment a week plus reset finale. Belonging, you're among chosen this community. Fear, FOMO, judgments arrive, prepare now. Continue this immersion, narrative flows, words build, add reflection. You've probably pondered why me, because chosen. Hypnotic, imagine walking post-reset, purpose pulsing, truth. These are timeless, timely for now. Exclusivity, few heed, you do. Rhythm, short, long immersing sentences draw you in. Pause, breathe. Organic CTA, like if fires touched you. Comment test stories, share reckoning insights, subscribe for more unveilings. Closing nears but expand. Dive into cultural ties, American dreams illusions shattered, faith's role in renewal. Historical, great awakenings as mini resets. Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you. And strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuru readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment.